Hey everyone, welcome to Balanced Bodies. I'm Coach Brandon, and this is more than just a podcast. It's a safe space for real women to share their journeys with perimenopause and PCOS. This is where your story matters. We're cutting through the noise and sharing raw, honest conversations about the challenges you face and the triumphs you've earned. We'll explore a variety of topics and learn from each other's experience. So get ready to feel heard, understood, and empowered. Now let's get into the episode.
To Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Balanced Body Podcast with me, Coach Brandon. Today, I have Miss Adrienne Hicks. She is the owner of the PCOS Healing Circle. She's a life coach. She's going to be able to give you some great information on her journey with PCOS, the ups and downs, the highs and lows, all the in between, all those good things. So, Adrienne, go ahead, come on, let everybody know about yourself, a little bit about yourself, and what is it that you do?
Hey, so yeah, thank you for the introduction. Like you said, I'm a life coach and mainly I started my journey trying to heal PCOS, but I found out that of course it's deeper than what meets the eye. Because a lot of the things that we go through in life are really just a reflection of what's going on with us internally, and that can be from your childhood trauma or just different things you've experienced in life. So yeah, I'm super excited to share my story, super excited to help women. And yeah, I think this will be a great podcast and I appreciate you for inviting me.
No, I definitely appreciate you coming on. And um, just real quick before we get into the questions, um, is there anything outside of, you specifically being diagnosed with PCOS? What was it that really drove you want to help other women who are facing, the PCOS?
What really drove me is just my own experience trying to heal from PCOS. I found that it was kind of like a rabbit hole. Especially when I was trying to find research, it was just countless and endless supplements that were offered and different advice that may or may not work for you. So
Right.
yeah, I just wanted to bring some information that truly will help women and something that I know from actual experience that can help women as well.
Well, awesome. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into these questions. So the first question we got for you today is how were you diagnosed?
Okay, so if I was really diagnosing myself, just to be honest. I was putting two and two together. Like I was
Hmm.
noticing the symptoms I had, and I was just noticing different things that weren't right. So I was of course doing my own research, and then I eventually had a long cycle that just wouldn't stop. So I went
Okay.
to my doctor because I wanted to know what was going on, and I told them to check to see if I had PCOS. And once he did like an ultrasound, he was able to see that I definitely have PCOS, and that's really what, led to my diagnosis.
Okay, now let me ask you this. Did you have any time that you talked to your doctor or a doctor and you're telling them about your symptoms and it kind of, I don't want to say took them a while to diagnose you, but it was kind of like a struggle maybe?
Yeah, definitely. The doctor, I was telling him about my symptoms previously, but he didn't mention PCOS at all. Like I said, I'm the one who put two and two together, and I'm the one who actually asked him to do the test to see, what was going on. If it wasn't for my own research, then I don't know if I would even have an official diagnosis by now. So,
That,
yeah.
that's insane. And I always want to say this, I'm never going to talk bad about any doctors. They do a great job for us. They do a lot of things, but when it comes to this PCOS, especially with my ethnic women, it seems like it's almost like they don't want to diagnose it for you guys.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make any sense. Some of the hoops you guys have to go through to actually get a diagnosis for it. So I'm very thankful and glad that you kept on it. Did your own research and was able to really come to the conclusion without the doctor, but the doctor just made it, boom, okay, yes, you do
Right.
have it. So props to you on that one because I've heard that a lot of times. I've heard that a lot. So
Yeah.
it's kind of crazy here. Okay, so you got diagnosed. After you got diagnosed, what were your after you specifically got diagnosed and they said, okay, yes, you have it. What were you feeling? Like, how did you feel? What were you feeling?
Honestly, I felt like I already knew, but I felt confused because I really didn't know what to do. And the only medication or any advice that my doctor was giving me is to either take birth control, of course, or lose weight. And he prescribed me like some weight loss medicine, which it did help, but not for a long term. So that's why I really want to share what I learned, because yeah, that was something that was only temporary, and it
Yeah.
really didn't, help at all with my PCOS. So
Like I said, I'm not a doctor, but that birth control thing gets me. Like, every time I
yeah,
hear that, I'm like, it's because it seems like, and of course, I haven't talked to every woman on the planet who has or had PCOS, but it just seems like the ones that I have talked to, the birth control experience wasn't really a good experience, or it worked for a little while, or certain things, but it just wasn't all it was cracked up to be. But okay,
right.
so we talked about that. Now let's talk about the strategies you implemented, because we talked about the birth control, the weight loss medicine the doctor tried to put you on. Now let's get into that journey of your self-reflection and your all of the reading and knowledge and research you did to come up with your plan.
Yeah, so for my specific plan, I started out really just trying different supplements. But honestly, it wasn't until I came across a couple of people really here on YouTube that were just talking about how your health starts internally, like with your thoughts. And honestly, once I made that connection, it opened up so many more doors for me to help me learn
Yeah.
about myself and really help me truly understand the root cause. Of course, there are medical diagnoses and treatments that they give you, but for me, honestly, the best um that I felt in years is me just sitting down with myself, really just learning myself, and really honestly just trying to be the best version of myself that I could be, and really healing from my past, really knowing that I can do anything, because a lot I know, well, just with women in general, it's really a crazy society out here, just body wise. And when you have
Yeah.
PCOS, a lot of the symptoms that come with it, of course, can knock down your confidence. So that's one thing I had to do, is try to build that back up, trust myself, and really start loving myself. And that's where
Yeah.
I was able to see the most results.
Wow, that's awesome. So, just me personally, I'm a faith-based coach. So, in my program, there's a lot of self-reflection, there's a lot of self-accountability, there's a lot of self-motivation. But the only way to do that is to, actually look at yourself, sit down with yourself, and figure out yourself what works good for you, and then you can start the other things. But you got to start there with yourself. So, like,
Right.
that's awesome to hear. um Mainly because it just goes in line with, I think, the way the Lord made us to be able to heal ourselves.
Yes.
It is all the everything we need out is out there for us to heal ourselves. But if we don't know who we are as a person, if you don't know who you are, how are you really going to be able to take that journey? So that's that's great to hear. Now, when it came to let's go back to the supplements for a second. When it came to the supplements you were trying, what were a few of the supplements, and what kind of results or issues did you have with any of them?
Honestly, top supplements, and this is honestly just doing research based on if you have insulin resistant PCOS, because there's several different types. But
Hmm.
if you have insulin resistance PCOS, the main thing is your sugar, of course, not properly going through your body. So the
Right.
supplements, in my opinion, that really actually will help with that, where one is called myoinstanol, and I know a lot of people talk about it, but I'll definitely send it over to you if you want to share it. But that's just a supplement that basically helps with your blood sugar regulation, so that's something that I can say long term really can help. Also, androgen blocker, because of course, when women have PCOS, they have excess androgens that are causing, the symptoms, like,
Yeah.
the facial hair. So androgen blocker, I would say that's definitely a plus. And then if you want to make sure that you are fighting the PCOS fatigue, I would definitely recommend like a vitamin B. And of course, check to see if you're deficient in your vitamin B, like get your lab tested first. But that's always a recommendation for women with PCOS, because that's gonna automatically help with your energy.
Nice, nice, for sure. Now let me ask you this. Did you try a supplement that you saw online and it said this is the greatest thing ever for PCOS, and you tried it and it didn't do nothing, or it just didn't work
I
for you at all?
mean, not really. Just to be honest, no.
Okay.
Because really with the supplements, I'm kind of more cautious, and also you have to try them for at least 90 days before you're gonna
Right.
see any results for real. So, there was, a couple of things that I saw that I want to try, but I'm kind of skeptical because I want to make sure that, hey, this is really something that's helping women and not just another money grab. Because I'm seeing now a lot of different supplements directed towards PCOS is coming out. So yeah, it's always best just to do your research, know your blood work, know your deficiencies. That way you'll be able to line up exactly what's working for you.
Blood work is definitely important. Blood work is important for all of us. I'm always surprised with, so my clientele are women from 35 to 55, and I train men also, and it always, I'll ask, just one of my questions on my intake is like, last time you got your blood checked? A lot of times they're just like, I don't know. I never
Right.
really got it checked. And I'm like, wow, okay, because it's so important. Our hormones are so important, or what we are deficient in is very important. Like, so we need to know those things. So it's good to hear about the blood test and all those things. All right, so now let's talk about the exercise now. When you started to where you are now, what does your exercise slash workout journey look like?
When I started, honestly, it was kind of slow because I was still having a lot of fatigue. I was still not having the motivation to really get up and go. But one thing that did push me, and I know I'm gonna keep saying this, but it's just really learning to love myself, because that's what really gives you discipline over motivation.
Yeah.
So once I was able to take just, time to do my gratitude journaling, really listen to affirmations daily, and just pour love into myself, that's what really brought me to being able to go to the gym like 5 times a week or 6 times a week. And it really, pushes me to want to do that, because it still instills the fact that I do love myself and I can stay disciplined during, rough moments in my life. When I first started, I want to say that I was going maybe about 3 times a week. I was doing the Stairmaster, which I'm not gonna say it didn't help, because everything that I'm working on now led me up to where I am now. So everything helped. It just took me shifting my mindset and my perspective on my life that really got me in there daily, got me in there, just trying different things, not being shy, not being scared to interact, and asking for help in the gym too, because a lot of people don't want to do that. Just,
Right.
if you don't know how to do something, like I'm more open now, if I want to do something new, I'm going to ask somebody, do they know how to do it, or if they can help me. So yeah, really just goes back to your perspective on life, how you see yourself. And if you really want to heal, you'll, do everything that basically that it takes to heal. So
And
now,
when you say, oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
oh, go ahead. No, you're fine. You're probably gonna say the same thing I was saying.
And you said you started out on the Stairmaster. That's kind of like where that journey began. Were you mostly cardio at first, and then it kind of went to maybe doing more weights, or how did that work out?
Yeah, definitely mainly cardio first. Just doing, the most that I could, that I feel like I'm not gonna overwhelm my body. I feel like I want to be able to recover quickly.
Yeah.
So mainly just doing cardio first, like maybe 20 minutes, just starting off real slow, going at my own pace. And then yeah, once I got to the point where I could do about 20 minutes of cardio, I went ahead and started implementing the strength training, just basically weights, like you said, full body, glutes, just trying different things.
Because I've seen some of your workouts. You be in there getting it in. You be getting it in on the weights. That's what's up. I
Thank
love that.
you.
I don't, me personally, I don't even prescribe cardio to my clients. Do they have a step goal? Yes. There is a step goal I want them to hit every day, but we're in the gym strength training.
Yeah.
Because outside of the PCOS, I want my clients to live a long, healthy life. I don't want to hear about them breaking their hips when they get
Right.
older. I want you guys to be able to play with your grandkids, bend over, do all the normal things that we kind of take for granted now. But I want you guys to be able to do all those things. So, but like I said, I see your videos. You definitely in there getting it in. So that's what's up.
Yeah.
Um, when also in the gym, oh, let me ask you, this is a good one. I didn't have this one written down. Your journey to where you're at now, when you're helping people, were you always comfortable with talking about your journey and then also doing things like filming yourself in the gym, getting a workout in? Is that something you were always comfortable in, or did you build up to that?
No, definitely not. Like I used to be so introverted. Like even for me to be right now on this podcast talking about it is a step because I've never
Nice.
been the type of person to want to talk about PCOS. I used to be so embarrassed, honestly, just because of the symptoms that came along with it. And I thought, people would think something's wrong with me, like because they never heard of it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So yeah, it was just like honestly it took me really months to get up to the point where I'm comfortable to talk about it online. And that just comes back to really just knowing who I am in God and in myself and just
Yeah.
building the confidence from the ground up to be able to really, have the confidence to talk to someone in the gym or to be able to even get on my camera and talk, online on social media.
Yeah. So, because I mean, looking at your videos that you post and like us interacting right now, I said you have supreme confidence. So I
Oh,
just
thank
wanted to
you.
know, was that always there, or
Yeah, you know.
did you have to build up to it? And I think the great part about that is you were able to build up with it with PCOS. You didn't let that
Yeah.
knock you down and knock you back. You were able to build with that. So props to you.
Thank you.
Congratulations on that. Um, Next, let's talk a little bit about the diet, the food you were eating. How did that journey look? Where did you start? Were you one of those people that just started off and I said, I'm gonna eat 600 calories a day, and now all kind of crazy mess. Where did you start at, and where are you now?
Yeah, definitely. That's how it was. I never went as low as 600, but of course, trying to be in a calorie deficit, that's where I kind of started.
Hmm.
But I did shift that as well because I just feel like I wanted to focus mainly on, prioritizing my diet based on how much I'm working out. Because that's what a lot of people forget. If you're going hard in the gym, if you're doing strength training and cardio, you're going to need that protein to recover. So,
Yeah,
yeah, just starting out, I was trying to do keto, different things, never worked because my mindset wasn't there. My mindset wasn't on really loving myself. It was doing it for vanity reasons. So
okay,
now I feel like it's easier for me to choose a healthier choice over something that's not really, as healthy because now I'm more like this is gonna nourish me, this is gonna sustain me, this is gonna help me in the long run instead of
yeah,
thinking about myself in the moment right now or just a craving that I have
yeah,
mainly when I'm talking to other people and other clients as well, just if they want to be in line, if they're already to the point where they are disciplined enough to stick to a diet. Normally I would say just make sure you have a equal amount of protein, fiber, and healthy fats, because that's all of those are going to help with your insulin resistance when you have
yeah.
PCOS. And not only that, those are going to satisfy you and help you stop snacking in between meals and craving the sugar.
Hey, I'm glad you said those healthy fats there. Those the healthy fats are so important, especially for you ladies. Those healthy fats are super important. So it's good you had those in there, prioritizing protein. I mean that's always a good thing. Was there anything that I will say? Oh, before we go further. So me personally, so I've lost 90 pounds,
Okay.
and
That's
thank
awesome.
you. And the first 50 I lost on keto.
Mm.
And for me, keto was a bunch of foods that I already liked. So it was easy for me to stick with it. It got me in a calorie deficit. I was doing my walking and I was good. So that just shows right there, like not everything works for everybody. But if you're consistent with what it is you do, guess what? You're gonna have some results and you're gonna get some good results. staying consistent. So I just wanted to throw that in there. I always like to give myself a shout out when I can.
Yes, have
Uh, so I've never had a problem giving myself affirmations.
right.
So was there anything with your diet that you tried that you found out for you it didn't work?
Definitely, yeah. When I was just doing research on, just eating for your blood type and having PCOS, I did find some foods are highly inflammatory. And that's one
Yep.
reason that, keto was a struggle for me as well, because I know one main ingredient in this keto is dairy. And that's something, with PCOS, just to be honest, is highly inflammatory.
Yep.
So, I had to cut dairy and mainly any like red meat. I'm actually like a pescatarian now. Not to say that everybody has to go to this extreme, but this is
Right.
really what works for me, because I notice when I'm eating chicken, beef, or any of the, some of the other meats that aren't basically seafood, that I'm highly inflamed, like I'm bloated, like I'm cramping, and yeah, it's just really important to listen to your body, because if you're not, knowing how your body is reacting to the things you're eating, that's when, you're gonna be basically in a loop. Like I'm on keto. Why am I not losing weight? Or, your body is going to react to the inflammatory foods instantly, honestly,
Yeah.
99% of the time. So I try to keep just a journal of the food I'm eating, how my body reacts. And not to say, everything isn't good in moderation. You can, of course, on holidays, maybe have a little splurge, here and there. But I totally believe in like the 80-20 rule, where 80% of the time you're eating like, the healthy things, and 20% of the time you may be able to get, like a little dessert, but just in moderation, of course, and not overdoing it.
Love to hear that also. Um, Figuring out those foods, the inflammatory foods, that is a big one. I think it's easy to eat something and not pay attention to what it actually does to your body.
Yeah.
Especially, depending on your digestion system, you might digest the food fast, and you're not even really paying attention to what it is. So to know, like, you were able to, hey, you know what? I'm eating this red meat, and man, my body is getting inflamed like crazy. um
Mhm.
to know that, to look at it, to see it, and then to make the change, that's awesome, because not a lot of people are able to do that.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, a lot of people are not able to do that. They have really hard, trouble doing that. So I love hearing those kind of things also. Alrighty, so now okay, we're gonna go, I guess we're gonna go through a little exercise right here. I want you to put your life coach hat on,
Mhm.
and I'm a person who is dealing with PCOS, and I feel like nothing has worked. I feel like nothing is ever going to work. I can't lose weight. Um, I'm feeling bad. I'm at home yelling at my kids and my husband all day for no reason. I'm just feeling out of whack and not feeling myself. How do you approach this client? And if you're working with them for, let's say, 90 days, what do you do with them?
Of course, and I'm glad you asked, because of course I'm gonna approach the client with love, because I feel like that's one thing that's missing. I have so much. I'm trying to see if I can pull it up, but I have so many journals that I have,
Yeah.
prayer journals, just gratitude journals, journals when I'm upset. Because honestly, the reason that you are feeling like you can't do something is because of how you feel basically ultimately about yourself on the inside. You feel like you're never going to be able to overcome certain things. You feel like you can't stick to a diet. You feel like you can't work out, and all of that really comes back down to you. It comes back down to how you truly feel about yourself on the inside. And as soon as you heal that, like, it's gonna be like so eye opening, and how different you feel. You're gonna want to do the right things automatically. Not to say you won't have downtime where you just say you don't want to do anything. Of course, you're human,
Right.
but you're gonna, majority of the time, you're gonna feel so much better about yourself, that you're gonna be like, why am I allowing myself to be stuck in a situation that I have, control over? So I'm definitely gonna start off my person. A 90-day plan is just putting themselves first. That's really what the plan is gonna be. Even if you do have kids and a husband, hey, you need to go ahead and map out specific time that is just about you. Read, research, do all the things that's making you feel purposeful in life. Because without those, you're automatically going to feel empty. You're never going to be able to really overcome.
Yeah.
PCOS if you don't feel good about yourself deep down inside. So prayer, like one example I would have is just when I wake up every day, I try to, before I even go to the gym, before I even talk to anyone, I say a prayer. I do my gratitude journaling. I try to do mirror work. And then I listen to at least one affirmation, even if it's like 5 minutes, because that's what's gonna get me started on my day and help me stay in the mindset that I can achieve my goals. And this is something you're gonna have to practice daily, because it's not just going to be after one session, you're going to feel fine. This is something basically you're going to be practicing for life, just to make sure you have that confidence and that love inside of you that keeps you going.
Nice, nice. That's awesome to hear. You know what, you talked about journaling a lot
Yeah.
today. And for the people who might not, know too much about journaling, just kind of talk about what it is and how it helped you in different phases, of your journey. Like, what has that journey done for you, and even what has it done for like some of your clients?
Yeah, well, I did go ahead. I have the Black Girls PCOS journal. This is really just like a mock copy, but I created this specifically for my clients and for other women dealing with PCOS. What it does, it basically opens up your eyes to what's really going on with you internally. Just like you said, if you're eating something and you don't realize how your body is reacting, that's exactly what this journal is for. Because as soon as you eat and you notice, your stomach is aching or you feel a certain type of way, you're going to write it down and keep a log of everything that's going on. That way, when you notice what you ate, you can put two and two together and the correlation will be mind blowing. Um, and then also just as a coach or just a life coach, just having journal prompts that are really helping you identify what happened in the past that's really causing you not to like yourself, because it's really ultimately what it is. um just a few prompts. Like one prompt I have now is, what does survival mode look like in my daily life? And a lot of women are, stuck in survival mode. They're stuck in the same cycle of feeling like they have to be everything for everybody without mapping out that specific time for themselves. So
Yeah.
just really journaling, getting it out there, making that time for you is really what's going to make the shift in your mindset. So that's why I really talk about journaling day in and day out. And also, in this journal, I have gratitude pages. And on these pages, really the main thing is just to align yourself with abundance. Like if you wake up every day and you give gratitude before complaining, that's gonna put you basically in the mindset that you have, more. You have more, and the more you feel like that, you're gonna attract that in your life. You're gonna attract opportunities. You're gonna attract, the feeling of love, discipline, motivation. And it'll be much easier for you to go throughout your day with those feelings, instead of feeling like you're upset, you're angry, you have to go back home and you're going to be yelling at your kids or husband. You know how to deal with that now. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, that's awesome. Also, the journaling is is such an underrated tool to when you're trying to have success, almost anything in life, like getting
Yeah.
that journaling in, business wise, health wise, anything like that. Journaling helps so much. Like and that book you have is a it's one of those tools that's invaluable.
Yeah.
Like, and when I say that, that book literally could be sold for $1,000 a piece, and it's still underpriced because
It really is.
what that can do in somebody's life. Just think that, like, one of the things you touched on, and this is just thinking about me and my age. We're all stubborn. I know I am. We have so many foods that do bad inside our system, and we just don't pay attention to it because we
Yeah.
just grumpy middle-aged men and we don't care no more. Like,
Yeah.
but because it tastes good, but we're not paying attention. We know it makes our stomach hurt, but we just whatever.
Right.
Like, that right there would help so many guys out. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
so many, just to pay attention to what that food does to you. So,
Yes.
um, that's awesome. So we're getting down to the end here. Um what I want to know from you, what your final message is. If somebody watched this podcast and They were asleep the whole time for some reason. They just woke up right here. And you were like, listen, if you didn't get anything from what I said, listen to this right here.
Yeah, so my final message would be I know exactly what you're going through as a woman dealing with PCOS. I've felt it, I've seen it. But ultimately, your life is up to you. Your decisions are up to you. So if you can, try your best to identify with yourself and understand why you're making the decisions you're making in life. Start by really implementing the journaling, like we said, and really just make sure you pay attention. Pay attention to yourself and once you start healing yourself from the inside out, heal your trauma, heal why you feel you don't feel confident, heal why you feel like you can never overcome PCOS or anything else. That's really gonna be a game changer for you. Once you do that, get your relationship right with God, pray, and really meditate as well on, the purpose that you're supposed to be doing right now. Once you do that, you're gonna really see yourself shift, and it's gonna be gradually over time, but the shifts are so amazing that you're gonna want to keep doing it. You're gonna want to keep seeing the improvements in your
Sorry to
life.
interrupt your video, but are you a busy faith-based woman, 35 to 55, trying to navigate issues with PCOS but don't know where to start? Click the link below and book a free mood and wellness assessment call with Coach Brandon to get you on the right track. Now back to your video.
Awesome. That's great. I mean, I felt like I just went through a therapy session myself. Like, I feel really good about the rest of my day just from talking to you.
That's
So
good. Same
this
here.
was awesome. Let the people know who are going to watch this podcast where they can reach you, where they can talk to you at, your social media handles, website, everything you got.
Yeah, so my website is PCOSHealingCircle.com. You can go there to book consultations. I do have my TikTok account. That's mainly where I like to interact. So if you wanna, reach out or really see where I'm posting, my TikTok is at Fine Fit and Fine with PCOS. And then also my YouTube channel. I have shorts there that I post and a few videos just about understanding PCOS. That's at the PCOS Healing Circle. You can definitely subscribe. And don't forget to go to Amazon because that's where you'll find the Black Girls PCOS Journal. And like you said, it's not really just for women. This can help men too. So thank
We
you
need
so
it too,
much.
fellas. Don't
Yeah.
sleep.
Yeah.
Okay,
No.
so I definitely appreciate you coming on today. This was a great show. I love your vibe. I love your energy. The talk of your self-worth, your self-love, how to internally help yourself. I don't think that's talked about enough. And so a lot of people need that. So you guys are looking for a life coach, somebody to help you out with your PCOS. Adrienne is here to, help you guys. So that's it for the podcast. Today's podcast was brought to you by Saratoga Water. It actually isn't. I just like drinking it because the bottle's cool. So,
It's
but
really good though.
anyways, I will see all you guys next week. Remember, I'm Coach Brandon. See me at www.coachbrandon.com. And until next time, guys, peace out.
Thank you.